Now, the reason I played this video, because you compound this with the cancer story, and we have a very, very serious question of the... Let me put it this way. When I was talking to Dr. Drew earlier, I asked him if there was any combination of these ailments that would, say, void a contract that he signed. You know, if you show up to a bank to get a loan, and then it turns out you were whacked out on goofballs,
Yeah, right.
you could get that contract voided and say you were impaired. You couldn't legally enter this contract.
Yep.
Well, the question I have then is, could there have been any combination of medical drugs or diagnoses that he was suffering that would void the legal standing of what he was doing? Which means, even if he did sign off on those pardons, they're void.
I think it should be void just for the pure fact that it was autopen.
I agree as well. I think autopen should be illegal.
Absolutely.
And I think nobody should be using it. And I don't think it should ever be used again, and that should be banned. But even outside of that, if they come out and say, who did this? Let's say they do a hearing and they say, Joe Biden, did you authorize these pardons? And he goes, yes, I did, 100%. Then the question should be like, okay, we want all information related to your state of mind, your medical diagnoses, and the medication you were taking to determine whether or not this is a legitimate order.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
He was on some kind of
mental
medication.
impairment.
Like his face kept changing. Like I remember it was balloon out. He had the weird chins.
He had the mash on his face.
What about
They called sleep apnea.
What about when he scratched his neck? You saw the video, I'm sure, and it wrinkled like it was a mask on. I know you've seen that.
Well, that's
Now we're talking.
now we're just talking about old guy's skin.
I don't know.
Or a guy in a
that was
mask.
a bunch of
Or a
ripples.
Or a guy in a mask.
Or it's got to be. That was like a whole bunch of. That was like a rubbery ripple. I know
You
you've
think
seen
they
the video.
got? You think they got like Mission
I think
Impossible
they do.
masks?
Oh, yeah.
Of course they
Of
do.
course they do. You've seen the CIA lady talk about it. The lady that worked in Hollywood that said the CIA came to
Exactly.
us in the 60s.
Yeah.
Well, I got
They've been working on that.
I got to say, it is a fun idea, but I prefer the politically expedient. Joe Biden was Joe Biden the whole time and incapable of doing the job.
It's hard to believe,
100%.
but I see
still
it.
say go back to the impairment. What was he on? What drugs was he on? What was he dealing with? Absolutely.
Remember his teeth falling out
On stage during the debate.
on stage.
This
Yeah.
was 2019 or whatever.
He's been rotting for years.
He turned around and you can see him doing
Moving
something
his
with his
teeth,
hand.
Yeah.
His teeth were falling out while he was talking.
I think it's scary, the kind of stuff that is going to come out.
Look, man,
at some point.
We all get old. You know what I mean? You know, your day will come. You know, you'll be in diapers. I'll be in diapers. Who knows what's going to happen?
I ain't being in no diaper. Not having it. Not having it.
Well, you know, I will say I don't consider Joe Biden to be a guy who kind of takes care of himself,
Right.
like so many Americans. So maybe it's just him was in the diaper.
With the doctor as a wife, though, you'd think he's taken very good care of.
Yeah. How did Dr. Jill miss this?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are upset when you make the doctor joke. They're like, "You're messing up an MD with a PhD."
Okay, I got to stop. I got to
What's the
stop.
point?
Just because a lot of people may not know this, I have to make sure everyone understands she's not even a PhD or an MD. She has a, what is it, like a
Doctorate in teaching or something?
Yeah, in education or something.
Education. Doctorate in
which is,
education.
it means nothing.
The worst
Literally
kind.
nothing.
The worst kind.
Unless you listen to Whoopi. She's a doctor. Right? Dr. Jill.
Yup.
Whoopi went on.
Man, these
Dr.
people
Jill.
are dumb.
It's ridiculous.
That's
abuse.
uncanny how close he looks to, what's the comedian that's got the...
Puppet.
Yeah, what's his
Oh
name?
my
The
God,
puppet.
he
The
is a
hand up the
puppet,
guy.
yeah.
He's got the ornery guy. What's his name?
Forget it. I don't know the
I
type.
can't think
I
of his
can
name,
find
but he has Jose Jalapeno.
Yeah. He's got like the terrorist.
He's got the terrorist.
Yeah.
Ahmed.
Ahmed, of course.
Huh? Yes, Jeff
Dunham.
Dunham.
I knew it.
That is like spitting image
Yeah.
And the funny
of
thing,
that dummy that Jeff
it
Dunham
is,
uses.
but it's like it's the post facelift Joe Biden that actually makes him look like that. When you look at young Joe Biden, it doesn't look like he doesn't have that same kind of
looks
pulled
totally
taut
different.
face.
Different
So,
Joe Biden.
It's post facelift Joe Biden.
Probably a different Joe Biden.
Yeah, he's probably gotten
Totally
surgeries.
Yeah, he's had a lot.
I think the puppet you're referring to is Walter.
Yeah, Walter.
Is that the name of the
Yeah,
puppet?
Jeff Dunham. Jeff Dunham, and I think it's Walter, is the old guy.
Both puppets.
Both puppets. But that is uncanny.
Oh, yeah. But Walter doesn't have it. Yeah, hold on, let me pull it up.
You see him?
That's funny. I'm trying to find a good picture to pull up. Let's do this one. It's probably going to be too small.
That
I figured.
face is-
Whatever.
That's the face right there.
Yep.
He's got the face.
Hilarious. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Maybe there's a... Google always turns back these tiny pictures. You can't really see anything. Walter.
That very pointy
Oh.
nose.
Can
Yeah, that's
someone
it.
Photoshop Walter into the photo with the Bidens and the Carters?
Or just Photoshop Biden's face onto Walter.
That's
There you
it.
go.
You know, and people are saying, don't be mean, he's got cancer. And it's like, well, then the Biden administration shouldn't have hunted down that old lady with cancer to put her in prison for peacefully protesting.
yeah.
Like, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
Joe Biden's done so many things that we believe to be illegal.
Yeah.
And he's faced no accountability for it. That when some little old lady with cancer was walking around on J6, not a rioter by any means, and then they hunted her down to put her in prison and she had cancer, it's like, okay, you get the sympathy you give. Golden rule, baby. I'm happy to return the favor. Joe Biden, you go to jail. We don't care if you're
Straight to jail.
They can cure cancer in Alcatraz.
Straight to jail.
Yeah, he should definitely go to Alcatraz.
I'd love it. Yeah.
Or Gitmo.
Yeah.
Just him.
Gitmo's fine.
Only one.
Just him.
Just Joe and Gitmo.
Just Joe and Gitmo.
Warm. Look, he's an old guy. You want him to be someplace warm.
That's a new
Get some
t-shirt.
sun.
Don't forget Mo.
You know,
It's too nice.
Man,
on the beach.
we've had presidents who, you know, Ronald Reagan in his later years was out of it.
Yep.
Yep.
We've had presidents with no legs, and they pretended like they had legs.
But they were out of office.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.